call me Two Sips. I don't know what I did last. Shooter shots and shit talk. Welcome to my podcast. Drink talk, drink talk, drink talk, shit. Drink talk.
Being so new and I didn't really know him. And then just the difference with us in like, you know, like how we met and I thought that he was a certain type of person. I thought he was a player. I thought he was, you know what I mean? Like, and he never gave me that impression, like personally, but because of the relationships I had, I was like, yeah, this guy talks this, but let me see. I've heard this before. I've heard this smack before. I heard, yeah, okay, let's see what happens.
So he was talking smooth shit to you?
He was smooth, but he was like a real gentleman. Always. To this day, 2 years later, he still opens the car door for me.
Like, you know,
all the time.
I do that. My
all
wife
the
ain't
time.
no gentleman.
Like all the time. But he's like, stop. But he's like that. You know, he was like real
straight gentleman.
Listen and everything. So yeah, it really shook me that I could trust him.
That's what's up. Shout out to the real gentleman out there.
There you go.
Black men don't cheat.
There you go. Look at him. He's looking. You got
black man don't cheat. I don't have no woman.
See, there you go. Looking for a woman.
Looking.
Yeah, so that's what's up, man. Blessings.
But that's what happened.
That's what's up.
That's how
man.
we started.
To surviving, man. Yeah. That's what's up.
But it's a good learning experience because it teaches you how going through beating cancer and me doing this.
Shout out to beating cancer.
That's right.
There you go.
Fuck cancer too.
Fuck cancer. Bitch ass cancer.
That's right.
Fuck that motherfucking cancer.
That's right. But it teaches you a lot about to always pay attention to your health.
Yeah, for sure.
Because if it's something wrong, you need to don't take any chance. I recommend get checked.
So if my butt itch, go to the fucking doctor.
Yeah, there you go.
This nigga.
It's about to get a little crusty. You gotta go to the doctor. If you feel a little creepy, then you gotta go to the bathroom. You gotta go to the doctor.
Damn.
But yeah, it does teach you how to, you know, pay attention to your health too. Plus,
especially nowadays, man.
Mm-hmm. And you realize what you take for granted too.
Yeah.
Like what?
Like simple, just to have a glass of water.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, like yeah, because you couldn't drink it,
right?
Yeah.
Or people who's like have worse cancers, who's dying. It's like you never think that taste of water is like 10 times. Like man, this
because they only taking water off IV, right?
Yeah.
But just life simple or brushing your teeth.
It's true. Because I'll tell you this though, when I was diagnosed, that word scares you. It scares you, even though it wasn't for me a death sentence, you know. I put myself there. I had my funeral in my head. Because the fear grips you, man. It doesn't stop. Once you hear you have cancer, it's like my surgery, when I was diagnosed in January, I had to wait like 7 weeks to have my surgery. So I was like, every day, like, oh, this thing is inside me. This is inside me. This is inside me. Get it out. Get out. Like, I wanted to just get it out myself. Mm-hmm. But it was stage 1. It was like 1 centimeter. It was real small, but it was an aggressive cancer. It was only 2% of cancer. So I was like, I had to take myself there to clear my head. In my head, put myself through a funeral. And I'm like, okay, you know what? That's it. You're not gonna, devil, you ain't gonna attack me with this no more. Like all right, I'm gonna live and I'm not gonna die and I'm gonna overcome this. And that was my first documentary.
That shit deserves a drink.
There you go.
So so you toasted?
I'm toasted. I'm toasted, goddammit. Come on.
It's a survival.
No, we not. That's your toast.
It's a fuck cancer.
You're just like, that's your toast? No.
That's your toast?
To survival? Fuck yeah.
There we go. There we go.
You glad you here, nigga? 2019 is over.
Go.
We going
but
to
the beating cancer.
To surviving.
2 dubs.
In style.
To survive.
There you go.
And togetherness.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, y'all did that shit together.
Yeah. He was an anchor for me during that whole time.
So look, I got some off the wall questions.
Okay, go for it.
Randoms, man. So just to get the blood flowing and stuff. You know. We can talk about everything, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I just want to make sure.
Oh, snap.
Both of y'all.
Uh-huh.
Boxes of briefs.
Box of briefs.
Box of briefs.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you a thong woman or you regular granny panties?
Oh, no.
Or like,
I'm in the middle
you
because
like
with the booty, I don't want that
booty
thing.
shorts or
I don't.
thongs?
I don't. I have thongs, but I don't wear them because I don't like that thing on my booty. Because when you sit, it like, no, it hurts.
You gotta be in the
So
mood,
it's
man.
gotta be like the shorter not boy shorts, but like
Shoes, right? You want shoes?
like hipsters. They're called hipsters.
Yeah.
So they're almost like
I don't know
Like,
what they
almost
call
like boxers.
no, not even. They're
they
like
don't nigga
they're
fuck
like-
as long as they hug the body.
yeah,
the right
they got
way,
it the right way.
We don't give a
I
fuck.
don't know, but listen,
Coming off.
if you got some granny panties in
No.
and that thing look good,
No,
granny gonna get it.
no granny panties. No.
If you got some grannies on and look fine.
It's
No,
somebody
no,
with some
no,
granny
no.
panties on. They just got an ass that's just. It don't even
I
matter
don't
what
do
they
granny
got on.
No granny panties.
But you're right, men don't care unless she coming off anyway.
Right.
I don't care. Like Cat Williams said about stretch marks. Either you was big and got small, or you was small and got big. Either way, we're fucking.
You hear me? Shit. So okay, I got some more questions.
Oh
Since
my
y'all
God.
like that. So what's y'all? So y'all actors and actresses. So
Mhm.
what's y'all? What kind of what? Let me get my mind right.
What kind of roles?
Do you role
What
play?
kind of movies are you into?
We can tell you.
Yeah.
For me, I've the majority of it has to be a really good story, something I can connect
Like,
with.
you're saying movies that we watch or movies that we get
Like
involved
genre.
in?
Like movies.
Oh, you watch.
like,
Oh, okay.
but majority for me is like horror and action.
Yeah.
Horror and action.
Yeah.
What about you?
I like more of like a mental, like a Hannibal. You know, like those like
Suspense.
kind of things,
Suspense.
like suspense,
Drama.
psychological thrillers. That's me. Yeah, I don't really
I'm
like
with
the
the
horror
crime
stuff.
and drama.
I don't
Crime
think that
drama.
crime and drama. That's what I like too. I'm not
Yeah.
really into horror. I've only watched horror because of him sometimes, but I don't. That's not my thing. No.
Action.
Yeah, my wife love comedy.
Action.
So she like,
Now I can act.
Yeah.
I can act very well. But I can direct better. It is if you don't work with the right actors, man.
It's true.
It's
Yeah.
It makes it, man. I directed a 2 minute. No. I directed like a 2 minute funny skit, man. That shit took
Oh, yeah.
hours. You hear me?
I
Sometimes
think I
it
seen
probably
this.
took about 5.
it's on the Shoot Shot Shit Talk page, right?
No.
It's on your page.
It's on my page somewhere, but that shit literally took 5 hours, and it was still fucking funny, but it didn't come out like I really wanted.
Mm.
It didn't come out fluently like I wanted to.
Mhm.
But it's with the people. It was my first little thing.
Mm-hmm.
Learning experience.
But yeah, but I can act.
I've been
very
through
well.
that.
Like, I get it in. Do y'all improv a lot?
I do.
You do.
I like to
improv.
Yeah.
So what do one thing
Break
they
that
teach
down.
you
What is
in
that?
improv?
Improv, you just gotta.
Like if I was to come into class right now, this is my first introduction to improv. What would you tell me to do? Like what would be the first thing?
It depends. Like what they do sometimes is like very basic. You'll have an emotion, right? So like there's a bag with like emotions in it, and then there's another bag with a scenario. So like you pick an emotion, I pick an emotion, but I don't know what your emotion is. You could be angry, you could be upset, you could be happy, you could be like psycho,
Okay.
and I could have another emotion, and you don't know my emotion.
Okay.
So then we both know the scenario, and oh, he's trying to pick her up at like a bar. So then you're trying to pick me up, like you're angry, but like I'm psycho. But you don't know my emotion, I don't know yours. But we know the scenario, so then you just improv it right there.
So
acting that out.
Both people know the scenario.
Yeah, you both know the scenario, but I don't know your emotion. You don't know mine.
I would love to do that.
So that's how you do stuff like that. Or like if a director tells you, okay, the scenario is a fight scene, and you know, it could be the same scene. The director's like, hey, you know, you're an abused woman, and this is your husband who's coming at you, and you have to go to this point and this point. You talk it out with the actor, and then you just go. Mm-hmm. But one thing you have to do is that if there is going to be a hitting scene, you have to make sure that you both know how you're going to hit. Because I walked into a hit, and I got hit for real. Mm-hmm. So you have to make sure.
If it's not rehearsed too.
Yeah. But improv, you really can't. You have to kind of talk. But yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep.
My first move is going to uppercut a bitch. Are you good?
And end of scene.
Always my scene.
Oh my
you
God.
said I do it.
I take all Terrence Howard roles. Let's go. Uppercut a bitch. That's gonna be my Samuel Jackson through my whole acting career. He always uppercutting a bitch. How many movies he uppercut her?
That's what they all started with. Just uppercutting.
Right, but for me, the story also has to be good too. Like something that
when you taking roles.
Yeah, when I gotta take all that into consideration too. The story, is it a story? What's the story about? Mostly, we all like things or go to see, especially entertainment, rather than song, music, acting that we can connect with.
Right.
That's how you will capture all of it. That's what makes a great movie, film, play, music, or whatever. Mm-hmm. Something we can connect with, and that connection has something to do with what we can relate to. Like, oh, this artist is talking the same stuff I'm talking about, or grew up the same life I grew up at. Yeah. Or the movie, too, talks about, oh, this is my life right here. Mm-hmm. Or, man, this story is really
good. It's so easy.
Mm-hmm. Isn't some of it portraying somebody you don't know?
That, too. See, people think acting is really easy, but it takes a lot of work because sometimes also...
It is hard, I'm telling y'all.
Also, it sometimes requires research, too. It's not just like...
Some actors can't read.
Yeah,
but
it's true.
See, that's why training comes in, too, or because sometimes you get a story, you get a script, and you read it, depends on what it is. Say, for example, I get a script that deals with, let's say, the civil rights movement back in the 60s. I'm playing a character in that time. Right. So it requires me to do research about the civil rights movement, what was going to at that time, because...
You want to bring it into now.
Right. Or if we going there, or if we're going to that period. Right. You know, if we go into the 60s.
Speech.
Because speeches, all that people talk, depends on the region too. If the story takes place in the South, then I won't be talking like a Chicagoan. Right. I'll be talking, if I grew up in Alabama,
say it about her.
I have a Southern accent for one, and people in the 60s act different compared to what we are now. Mm-hmm. If same thing, if we was in the 1920s,
say, man,
people act different from the 60s, from the 20s. Women sat differently and stuff like. See, all this has to be taken into consideration. Mm-hmm. So it's not just it's easy to act. No, it's not. It takes hard work. Plus, it takes you and your partner too. Yeah. You're also good as the person you're acting out with the scene with. I mean, Hugh Jackman said that too.
So the best actors go into a place of all of that shit.
All of that.
The best.
Mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, all that. Because it's
Jim Carrey.
Yeah. Definitely Jim. See,
Jim Carrey gets into it.
Yeah. If you hear him talk about
Jim Carrey, the man.
For all those who out there,
really be getting into
listen to him how he talks about playing certain roles in certain movies. Yeah. How he said
Johnny Depp.
Yeah, he even said it. Jim Carrey, like, I went there. It's like my God.
Joker.
Mm-hmm.
And there's different methods too of acting, like how you prepare. Like for me, if I was to play a part where I had to cry, some people go and they find a memory right? That they find a memory that makes them cry, right? So like they'll think about their mom dying or this and that or whatever. And they'll post from that.
Nigga, let's see some tears, dude.
Is it coming? Is it coming?
I can't believe that's really good.
There you go. See?
That's really good.
Shit, talk the best podcast.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
You know? So it's like you can think about that, but like for me, I put myself in the person. Because if I was crying like my mother died, but I'm playing a role where my daughter died, the cry you would give if your mom died is different than your daughter.
Oh yeah, it is.
So for me personally, I don't know what it's called or whatever. Exactly, right? All that stuff. Like, I don't know what it's called.
It's called emotional recall.
But emotional recall is something that you had an experience of. If I didn't have a daughter that already died, what I'm doing is I'm not recalling an emotion of crying. I'm putting myself as that this is my daughter. I am a mother. I don't have children. But for me, I'm like, I play that role as I'm a mother. So this is my daughter dying. My daughter dying
is all I get.
Is different, right? Than if I'm recalling and an emotion that I had.
That time for you to get into your psyche?
Sometimes they don't. Sometimes they do.
Sometimes
you have to do it.
But you know,
they gonna have to allow me to.
Some actors, you know, just like I said, some actors, you know, any acting teacher or any professional, they would tell you use whatever works.
Right.
Because they ain't not there to judge you. Long as they get long as the director get what they need.
Yeah.
So that's what it takes for you. Or some people have to do that.
Right.
I remember Sylvester Stallone was on the Actors Studio. And he was talking about stuff like this. And he said, y'all think that this is most of it sometimes is technique.
Yeah.
They train to do that too. Mm-hmm. He said, because he even said he has to do that sometimes too.
Yeah.
Plus, you know,
I can act for real though.
Stanford Meyer, because I come from a Meisner background of acting. He always talking about moment to moment, how you live in a moment. Sometimes that gets you there without even having to do that. Right. Because you're so connected with your partner.
That's how
connected. That's how it'll automatically come out.
Yeah.
You know.
That's how I'm in the moment.
Right.
I'll be right there in the moment.
And there's another thing about
But then when you live in a moment, you don't think about what just happened 2 seconds ago.
No, you
it's moment to moment.
Your shit is like that.
Because once you live in that moment, then it's on to the next moment.
Yeah.
Man, my wife hates
the
me
worst.
for that shit.
The worst thing you don't want to do to actors is stay in that same moment because they ain't like 5 moments ahead of you. It's like, come on, man, come on.
Like, I already put my shoes on.
Like, come on, kid.
What the fuck you in the middle?
Where's this amateur? Like, come on, man. This is, you know.
And it's true, like when he said you do whatever works for you to get you there. Because all the director or producer wants is like, hey, can you give me what I want? And some people work different ways. Like, and it's so true what he said. There's so many ways for a person to get what they need. But the bottom line is, can you get there? Can you do it? And can you be versatile? Mm-hmm. Can you listen to what the director says? If he wants more of this or she wants more of this, can you do that? Or are you like, well, that's just how I do it and that's how it's because I've met people like that. Trust me, there's people out there like that.
I can get you what you want. I can get what you need.
There's people like that.
Time.
But guess what though? You want that you may be hired on this and you be making their job more. Everybody on set are loving him, but guess what? You won't get no other job because in this industry, word spreads fast.
Yeah.
Because you don't know that director or producer who's the boss.
Yeah. Another director
who knows
connected to the next person.
And people do make phone calls.
Oh, for sure.
Oh, they talk.
Directors talk to each other.
Oh,
like, hey,
name 2 sips. That nigga working.
I heard you work with so and so before. How are they? They ain't gonna say.
Oh yeah,
person,
reference.
Bad. Or they say, oh, this person's great. You should hire them.
2 sips.
If you're
it's
a
always
jerk.
gonna be 2 sips.
Like she said, if you can't take direction and do and
Yep.
follow instruction, they're gonna be like, no, this person was horrible.
Yeah.
They don't listen. They don't take instructions.
And be on time.
They don't be on time. Oh, whatever.
They gonna say
just
that
made-
about me all the time. He
Because-
ain't never on time. He ain't
Because-
never
Then
on
see, then you gotta be the
I love 'em.
producer and the director part.
I got to be everywhere.
You gotta do that.
Because-
I ain't gonna never be on time.
Because
on purpose. Too.
when it comes to like on camera work with commercial, film, television, it's long. The wait sometimes can be long, and people work from 12 to 16 hours a day on set.
So I've seen you on a couple commercials and
Yeah.
billboards and
Yeah,
shit.
yeah.
I seen it with a black lady with curly hair. You know how to do that shit?
Of
This
course.
is back in 2015.
I saw that.
I seen it with some hands and shit like, them nigga, that's hands.
Yeah. What was that? The cheese?
Frego cheese.
Yeah,
Frego
breaking
cheese.
cheese. I'm like,
Yeah.
that's his hand. That's what's up. Congratulations, man.
That's what's
He was
up.
good.
Mm-hmm.
Gotta get that money, man.
This hen dog.
Yeah.
This hen dog. Hey.
I'm buzzing.
Really? That's why I'm drinking
What you
water.
say, uppercut?
Uppercut.
I'm not
Uppercut in the
buzzing.
bitch.
Okay,
You ain't
my
buzzing?
toast.
No.
Man,
I'm
heavyweight.
sick.
My toast.
Oh, you
So-
sipping. I'm drinking.
My toast.
I've been drinking.
What are you toasting
I've
to?
been drinking.
I'm toasting to
Hot sex.
Yeah.
I get home.
He's like, when I get home.
say hot sex. No, I really want to know what I want to toast to. I want to toast to holidays.
There you go.
There
I
you
want
go.
to toast.
Merry
to-
Christmas and
Happy
Hallelujah.
holidays to you guys.
Yeah, happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa.
All of that. All
All
of
of
that.
that.
All the good stuff.
Happy
that
sex.
come with it.
He's like on the sex.
Hold on.
All the good
Now
stuff.
Henny's give you a little
Henny in
hug.
the system. Ain't no telling when I.
Now, all you women out there, don't forget to be a ho 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 this year.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
The Henny is off the cheesy.
So what are you guys doing for Christmas?
I'm not. It's okay. You can leave it on there.
Mhm.
I'm not sure yet. We might. My mom is either like at Christmas Eve or Christmas Day. It doesn't matter.
I'm spiking the eggnog.
Hella rum.
No, you have to do.
Do your family
Do you
drink
guys?
a lot?
No. Do you guys ever do like the Hispanics? They do like pitorro, or it's called pitorro. It's a what's that other one that Angel always tells me about?
Ours is
Not
us Malaysian and French. We get
Because he
like
gave me a
vanilla.
whole bottle in it.
No, not the coquito.
We do
No.
ice cream in rum.
Oh, that sounds
We
good.
chop that shit up in a blender and you drink that motherfucker.
Really?
No, the
Yeah.
pitorro
You never had
and the
that once?
roncaña.
Yeah, man.
Roncaña it's pure grain alcohol, and then what they do is they put a lot of fruits and stuff in it. So like you do it this year and you bury it, or you put it in a closet for next year, so it ferments for like a whole year. You do a shot, you out. That's it.
You bury it. What you mean? Like,
You bury it in the
in
ground.
the ground?
Sometimes you bury it in the ground, or a lot of people just put it in like a big closet. But you make big jugs of it, and it's pure grain alcohol, and you put all kinds of like cinnamon sticks, apples, all kinds of stuff in it. And then then the next year, I had it once, and I fell asleep for 2 hours.
What?
Yeah, I was like done. I went to go to my jacket.
That's why I probably most.
This was a few years ago. That's why I don't drink it.
That's why
I'm
if
not-
I take
I'm
a
not
shot
like
and
that.
I'm gone for
7 for no whole
No.
6 months. I'll let it
No,
go for
that's
6
the whole
months.
point of it. Yeah.
I'll let it
But
go.
Spanish people do
Nigga,
Sit
the
there.
sense this.
Yeah.
I'll let it go for 6 months and then do it, but I'm
Nah.
not letting it go for no whole.
Because that's the
year.
whole tradition.
No.
Alcohol too.
Yeah, it's alcohol. So you
Right.
get grain alcohol,
Don't-
and then you put all the stuff in
Talk
it,
about
and
100
then
proof.
but it makes it so sweet you don't know.
I don't want to get that drunk.
Well, that's
No.
why you only do a little shot.
Nigga,
No.
sip.
I cannot.
He's
do
like, he goes like
You
that.
take one, you be
My
out.
name is two of everything.
He puts
Be like,
some
"What's
in
that
there.
go?"
Okay, I'm done.
Right.
I taste
Be like,
it.
what I do is 2 sips of it. He gone,
Take
man.
2
He
sips
took
and
that
he
2
out.
sips of that. He
He
gone.
gone.
Do 2 sips of it. I
Can't even
do
enjoy the
1
party.
sip of nothing. I gotta do 2 sips. Like,
I know what we're
man,
doing.
look. I'm trying to tell y'all, go check out Shooter Shots and Shit
Shoot a
Talk
shot and shit talk.
right now.
Actually, what's your avenue so people can come and talk to you about acting, actressing?
Well, just Facebook.
You can Facebook me.
Yeah, they
Christian
might
Dior
want to get
Creasy.
massage, all that shit.
Benita Santillanes. That's, I know it's a long name. Santillanes, Santillanes. No. Benita, Benita, not B-O, right? No, just kidding. No, but, yeah. So, but
So check them out.
Mm-hmm.
You already know.
What's yours again?
Christian Dior Creasy. That's
Dior.
Creasy.
With the C.
C-R-E-A-S-Y.
Christian with the C.
That's
Creasy
right.
with the C.
So y'all know where to go check them out at, man.
That's right.
Going down, man. We got Chicago in the building right now, man. The industry
South
is
City.
the yak.
Southside.
And also
Northside.
check
What
me
happened to
out.
your food? Oh, it's over
My
there.
energy not that up because the yak.
Also check me out. I'm also in the web series called In and Out. YouTube, Red Road TV. I'm in episode 5 and 6.
Nice.
Subscribe.
Go
Subscribe.
Shout out to Red Road Productions.
Right now.
Team is awesome. So
Go
we're going
subscribe, please.
episode
go subscribe.
7 is in the works.
Go subscribe.
Check them out.
Go subscribe. That's right.
Right now to my shit.
Subscribe to Shooter Shits and Shit Talk.
Shooter shots.
Shooter Shots and Shit Talk. It's the yak, y'all. It's the yak.
It's the yak.
Shooters.
Let me get the
Shots and shit talk. Let's get it.
Nice.
That's right. Yeah.
Tune in.
Expand your drink game.
Tune in. This is 2 Sips. I'm LJ the King, Benita, and Christian.
There you go.
Peace.
Thank you for watching Shooter Shots and Shit Talk. I am your boy, 2 Sips. I'm LJ the King. Check us out on YouTube, Shooter Shots and Shit Talk, and also on Facebook.
And you can also catch us on IG, Sip Drink Talk. Schedule your next appointment and be a guest on the show.
Subscribe. Subscribe. Subscribe.